Hey everyone, Coach Stefan Rudolph coming to you straight from beautiful Vista, California here at recoveredcoaching.com. Got a great friend of mine here from Escondido, Bill Townsend, and wanted to introduce him and talk about our coaching business and what we have and do together in helping other people grow. And this is Bill. Bill, say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi, you guys. Yeah, my name is Bill Townsend. We go back, way back.
Way back.
High school days, back to Orange Glen and Escondido. And yeah, I'm a life coach, and my deal is called In the Blue Life Transformations. And I've been doing that professionally, meaning I get paid for it, for about 2 years.
Yeah.
Just helping people out.
Helping others out. That's what we have in common. We're going to have a seat here.
Yeah.
Kind of discuss.
Let's have a chat.
Exactly. About where we came from, what we do. Tell people about, what your coaching business is about.
Well, basically, I just listen. I think a lot of people have a hard time listening these days, and just really trying to figure out what it is somebody's dealing with.
Right.
So I listen.
Yeah. Open up the mind. Open the ears, open the mind, open the heart. That's what I say.
Yeah, and I think it started out for me. I'm in 12-step recovery, and I've been for quite a few years, 22 years, and I sponsor quite a few people in those programs. And just really like doing that. The 12th step is after you have a spiritual awakening, you give it back, right? So I've been doing that for a while, and I realized that not everybody is in 12-step programs, and not everybody feels comfortable getting a sponsor. So what I've done is I've just kind of transitioned between being a sponsor and being a life coach. And I kind of use some of the same principles, and I just listen and I offer another perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
Being able to, anybody that is out there, and I've gone through this transformation, been 7 years sober, and I felt no one was listening. No one was hearing me, right?
Yeah.
And when you go to these meetings, you get a sponsor and they're actually listening, it helps you. Because maybe there's family members missing, there's something missing in your life that you need. And AA was always a great step for me to get out there and talk to people.
Well, I think that, like for me, and what I've realized after viewing lots of different online meetings, because you can go online and join a group for whatever you have going on, and after monitoring some of those, I see that a lot of people have a real fear of actually going into a room with a bunch of strangers.
Right.
They don't feel comfortable, and sometimes a one-on-one thing like what you and I have going on right now, there's more connection. People feel safer when it's just one person. So what I like to do with the coaching deal is just to sit and listen and open up communication and let somebody know that, you can talk to me and you can trust me, and they feel safe and secure, and maybe then they're able to open up and let some stuff come out. I think everybody has stuff. You don't have to be an alcoholic or
some closets are bigger than others.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. Some of the connections I've had too with AA is that people understand once you get there, that is the hardest step, is breaking through, because I felt no one was going to understand what I went through.
Yeah.
Or there's people that go in there, I was going there because of a DUI, and then some people say I don't need to go there, I don't have a DUI.
Yeah.
Or they don't think they have a problem, but it's affecting their relationships, it's affecting other ways. And I said, AA is there for you if you need it. At the same time, it's like a spiritual awakening. I had that 12 step on this last DUI. I was finally done because this 12th step had a spiritual awakening and realized I needed to shift my life and had that desire to shift.
Yeah.
That holy shift, I call it.
Yeah, I think, and like you said, some people may feel like they don't belong there, or they don't qualify, or maybe that their problems aren't as bad as the guy that they just heard share in the meeting.
Right.
You don't have to be, falling down drunk or unable to keep your job or on the verge of divorce or death or whatever to have a situation that is valid.
Right.
That if you feel like you have an issue, if you feel like you have a problem, if you feel stuck,
right.
If you feel stuck and you can't get out of it, getting a life coach and just talking about what you have going on and seeing that there is another way. And again, what I really like is offering another perspective, deeper perception of what it is. Because if you're an individual and you're alone in your problem, there's no possible way that you can get, because you only know one way to look at it. So for me, and I had the opportunity of having a life coach too, and it really helped me. And what that person did is that it was a female. She helped me see that there were other ways for me to look at my situation and help helped me transition, get
Yeah.
out of it.
Exactly. So kind of what I've also gone through is that awakening to where understanding the spiritual awakening, the connectiveness of my ego running my life to say you have to make more money, you have to get a better job, you have to get this, you have to get that. That battle of the ego nearly killed me.
Yeah, where's that coming from?
Exactly. Well, from the ego, from the mind, I have this heart and I want to live with passion. From the mind, I always felt it was just like more, more, more. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's never there, right? It's never in the now.
And that's coming from everywhere, because people, I think there's so much of that static and that incoherence everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and for me, I notice that when I feel like I need more, like, you know, like the scale should be lower and the number in my bank account should be higher. What I'm doing there is I'm looking at other people and I'm comparing my insides, my feeling of lack or insecurity, to their outsides. And a lot of time, those things that people are portraying on the outside, it's not even real. It's just some kind of facade. That's
the negative about social media these days, right? The millennials, they're on the phone with everybody and everywhere and comparing themselves, right?
Yeah.
To just, this is the way I should be, and never happy with themselves. And that's what we go through. Every generation does that, but it's pretty hardcore with the cell phones these days, the internet, right?
It's tough, and like what I really like about, you know, of course the 12-step programs and about life coaching is that hopefully you can find somebody that what we call in the rooms, somebody who's not going to co-sign on your BS.
Yeah.
Can I say?
Oh yeah.
Can I say bullshit?
I have a coach out there. Her business is called No BS Therapy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm not going to co-sign your BS. And I think a lot of times what I've found, can I name a book, like by title here? Is that okay on your channel?
Okay, yeah.
I read a book. It's called Leadership and Self-Deception. It doesn't have one author. It's by a think tank. I believe they're called the Arbinger Institute. So you guys, if you're watching this and you like it, Leadership and Self-Deception. And I read this book, and what it taught me is that I always know instinctively what I should do in any situation. Let's say I have a choice to make with how I'm going to interact with you.
Yeah.
And I could say, oh yeah, I told Stefan that I'd meet him around 3 in Vista. I have 2 choices of what I can do. I can either honor that, which means I go down and meet Stefan at 3 or 3-ish and we have our talk, or I decide not to go. And if I choose the latter, what I do there is I start to make up explanations and excuses and reasons why I'm not going to do what I knew I should do. And it's called self-deception. And I think I found that I know I, and most people that I work with and talk to, we're all operating under a certain amount of self-deception in our lives.
Great point.
Yeah, and a coach, when you sit down and talk to somebody and you go back and forth, a coach that's been trained how to listen and perceive and offer, you know, other solutions and other ideas can kind of pick up on when somebody's operating under a lot of self-deception.
Exactly. Because sometimes we can't. The ego runs our life, or it says, you're doing okay. I'm not going to be able to make it today at 3. It's fine. And then the excuses. And I have a quote called Excuses. Well, it comes from the book Excuses Be Gone, but excuse the excuses out of your life.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of excuses and saying, well, I don't need to be there. So we don't show up, we don't do anything, or it gets worse and worse, and then we lose that friend or something.
And the thing is that we always know on a gut level, on a heart level, you know, call it intuition or your gut, or we always know what we should do. And it may not be easy to pick that first choice, but you honor it. You do what you know you need to do.
Right.
And everything's going to be good. It may not be easy. It may be a challenge, but ultimately it's going to work out. If you choose not to honor those excuses and those, I blame you, and you know what, he's probably not going to be there, and I'm so busy, and and it's all lies. We knew that we should have done what we should have done. Yeah. And everything that we do after picking choice 2 is a bunch of self-deceptive bullcrap.
And that, I feel, it comes up as escapism, is the reason that when I look back 7-8 years ago why I was drinking. I didn't want to face things. I didn't want to. I said, well, I kept honoring a few things, but the other half of the things I didn't honor. I kept falling out and feeling guilty. But then drowned it in beer and bar time and just kind of the fog, you know, not paying attention to life.
Well, like you said, you had unresolved stuff, and I think everybody does, either from your childhood, from your adolescence, from a relationship gone bad, death in the family, just divorce or whatever. We all have stuff, and the thing is, you have to feel the grief. You have to process everything that happens in your life. If you stuff it and shove it down here and you think it's gone, it's not gone, and it starts to come up. And if you think you can numb it out and make it go away, with drugs, alcohol, sex, food, shopping, chocolate.
Yeah,
Stefan and I were talking today about shoving chocolate in a god hole. It doesn't fit. That stuff comes back up, and you can't get rid of it. You can't make it go away. Nothing will make the unresolved stuff in your life go away until you look at it, you face it, you talk it, you take it in, you ingest it, you digest it, and you let it go. You have to do that, you guys. That's a universal law. You have to work on that stuff, or it's going to come up and get you one way or another, and alcohol is not going to fix it.
Yeah, it dilutes it. Or when I drank, it was more like I didn't even want to face anything. But when I did face it, it was worse. It was 10 times worse, 100 times worse. And finally, after a year, 2 years of sobriety, I said, I'm actually enjoying life. You know, I could actually want to get up in the morning and not have to worry about going to do work on the weekends for my DUI, or, you know, I have a license now. I have insurance over little things.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can glance in the rearview mirror. You don't have to.
I know. I don't even.
You can take the main roads now.
Hey, I went through my first checkpoint last week in Escondido.
Feels good, doesn't it?
I was cruising grand, and all of a sudden, there it is. And 7 years later, the officers were like, "Hey, how you doing tonight?" I'm like, "Good. Been sober 7 years." And he goes, "Well, congratulations." And check my ID. You know, looked at me. Okay, he's telling the truth, but it felt good.
Yeah, I'm excited when I see checkpoints now. I say, you guys should have been here like 23 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, we're running down and getting 40s.
Yeah, it's bad news.
But that's good that we've been through that, and then helping people too. You know?
Yeah, I think for me, that's what it really is all about. And you know, I'm gonna like kind of paraphrase something in the big book of AA. And you guys, you don't have to be an alcoholic or a drug addict or whatever to get some good stuff out of 12-step recovery programs and their literature. But there's a chapter, I think it's called To the Family or To the Family Afterward, and it talks about how we can take the darkest, most dreadful hours of our life, you know, and we can take those things and they can be of infinite worth to us. If we can take what we've learned in those dark moments and share it with somebody else and maybe help alleviate some pain of an individual or a family, then that lump of coal, after all the stuff that we've gone through, has gone through the refiner's fire and all that pressure, and it's turned into a diamond, and we can take that and share that with somebody. And so it was worth what we went through to get to where we are today.
There are diamonds on the inside.
Oh my gosh!
It's like that song.
Yeah. I don't even know the song you're talking about.
Oh, it's a good song, surfing song. But he's talking about there's somewhere in life there's diamonds on the inside. Yeah. We have to work to get it.
I think we all are. I think we're all diamonds, man, and maybe we're all just caked with layers and layers of coal. You know.
Yeah. The hard part is some people don't come out of it. Some of our loved ones, we have to deal with that. That's where Alanon comes in. Yeah. Dealing with alcoholism or addiction, or seeing it now in my life and saying, why don't they face it? I almost get that anger, like, just stop drinking. And I knew it was never that easy. Yeah. But at the same time, it's hard to see loved ones in doing that.
Oh, it's super tough. Like watching a fellow human being slowly kill themselves with alcohol is painful. And I got that from Alanon, and I get it. You know, there's just like, and we were talking earlier, so many people have stuff. And if you have somebody in your family that's drinking or drugging or some other kind of dysfunctional behavior, it hurts. You know, you love that person. You think that you'll do anything to get them to stop. But the deal is that people get to choose to do what they want to do, whether it be drinking or taking drugs or other risky behavior. They have to do what they want to do until they decide that they're going to stop.
Until they wake up, and I say turn the FUs to thank yous. Yeah. I just heard that siren down there, the ambulance probably, or it could be a cop, but every time that's a reminder. I had so many epileptic car accidents, issues, the ambulance, everything. It reminds me, when I hear sirens now, I'm thankful it's not me. I give them a little prayer, whoever it is. Yeah. If it's a cop, you know, I'm not getting pulled over anymore, being thankful. Yeah. Instead of being angry, or the way it used to be was, have I been drinking? Couldn't even remember if I drank. You know, if it was that drunk all the time.
Well, I know you and we knew each other in school, and then there were quite a few years where we didn't have any interaction. But I think I either saw you or heard tell of you, and I knew you were having a really hard time. I knew you were down low. Yeah. And, you know, and I was too. And I've had some very low times and some very low years. And I'm sure there's people out there who remember us for the negative stuff we were doing. Yeah. Or, you know, oh yeah, that guy had a mohawk and a leather jacket one time.
Oh, that's right. I have to put that on the video.
Excuse me, I did all that. But you know what? Like, and there they go. Yeah.
There they go.
Hopefully that
sounds like two ambulances.
And their family are going to be okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, no matter what you're going through, no matter how painful your situation is now, or how difficult something in your life is, I guess Stefan and I are both living proof that you can make it back from anything. You really can. And just to have faith and have trust. And if you don't know where to go, maybe talk to a friend, talk to a family member, talk to clergy, Go online, Google 12-step programs. Look at Alanon. Look at AA or ACA or any of those programs. There's help available. You don't necessarily have to get a life coach. Life coaches can and do help, but get help somewhere. Right?
Yeah, and a lot of the times I understand too, financially is the hardest time in your life. They can't afford a coach. I'm here to talk, here to help people, get them to meetings, do what we can. At the same time, we give in order to receive. So there's referrals out there that are coming my way now. People want the epilepsy coaching, they want the alcohol coaching, something in life. But we're here no matter what with open arms. Right?
Yeah, and that's what I offer. I offer individual coaching. I offer couples coaching. And it's my niche is recovery based. So if you or a family member have a problem with drugs or alcohol or other family dysfunction, I specialize in coaching people like that.
And what's your website?
It's called In the Blue Life Transformations. And check me out. Check out my website. Check out my deal on Facebook.
I'll have a link on this video too. You can check that out. It's under Recovered Coaching. I'll put you on there too. Just working together. It feels great to do this.
It really does, man.
Yeah, we'll be working more together from OG, original gangsters, right?
Yeah, it was such a trip. Just kind of reminiscing about my high school days back in Escondido at Orange Glen and the things I learned. And back when I was a young man and a teenager and an adolescent, excuse me, I really made some decisions. I say now, if I could do it over again, I probably wouldn't have done that. The alcohol, the drugs, the womanizing, all that kind of stuff. Maybe I wouldn't have done it. But actually, we're talking about the coal and the diamond. I mean, I've learned so much from the mistakes I've made, and I have a certain amount of what they call street credibility. Yeah. And I can relate. So when someone calls me, they go, "Well, you don't understand. I got this, 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 and this." I go, "Oh, well, you know what? I think I can because I did that. Yeah. So it's I can share my experience, strength, and hope, and say, "Hey, you know what? There is a way out of it. There's a way out of any difficult situation you have going on. There really, really is."
Right. I woke up in jail and I just got on my knees and started praying in my path and said, "I'm done. I'm sick of it." I was hurting other people. I think also alcohol is fuel for narcissism. So narcissistic people are drinking. I was drinking. I don't consider myself a narcissist anymore, but alcoholism, it was me. It was my time. I had to go. It turned into, hey, you want to go grab a beer? And if you said no, then after a while, I didn't care. I went by myself. It was that bad. And I was hurting so many other people, but I didn't know it. So that's the awakening that I had was it's not just me in this world. It's if I want other people, if I want a normal life, I have to be considerate of other people's feelings, right? Love.
Everybody's feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, I really believe that we are all the same. They talk about those 12-step programs and talk about anonymous. And what anonymity means is it doesn't matter what your last name is. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. It doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. We're all the same. We actually are all one. We're brothers and sisters, and we're in this thing together. There's only so many human thoughts. There's only so many human emotions. There's only so many precarious predicaments we can get ourselves in. Yeah. And someone's been there and someone has found a way out. So you are not terminally unique. We all have experienced everything to some degree or another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we're in an ideal spot too. I'm going to show our viewers out there where we're at here in Vista, and this is what my grandfather served in. So it says we're in honor of all those who serve and protect past, present, and future. And this has been here since 2015. But coming from my hometown in Vista, my grandfather owned an auto parts shop right down the road there in the 70s and 80s.
My son goes to school right here.
Goes to school right here, see?
Yeah. I pick him up over here sometimes.
We're all back here for a reason in this life, for this life, to live life to the fullest. So I want to thank everybody for checking this out on the 2020 Vision Quest, Recovered Coaching.
Happy New Year, you guys.
And we'll have our information on here. Yeah, have the 2020 Vision. Peace.
See ya.